working, but I will check and see. And make sure that we are here and things are working. You should have the links in there. And this one seems to be working, and this one seems to be working. Okay, I think we're good. Hello, hello, everyone. I will give everybody just a few moments to get in and get settled, and then we'll open up the space and all that good stuff. All right, let me make sure that I can see everything. Yep, I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. Welcome, welcome, everyone. We are here to do our next round of My Word is Bond and look at our next word. Okay, let's see. All right. So everybody should have the link in either YouTube or in Twitch pinned up there to be able to put in any of your lyrics for the lyric wheel. Hi, Judy. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Oh yeah. Yep. Those brownies are gonna make it hard to stay here. Well, at least there'll be a recording. So before you're not with us anymore, and that's a horrible way to say that. That sounded terrible. Before you pass out, fall asleep, um, go ahead and put your lyrics into the lyric wheel. The link should be there in Twitch. It should be pinned in Twitch. So going to the link tree and then to the very top should have, yeah, that sounded bad, should have all of that. Oh, okay, great. Perfect. So I'm going to go over here real quick and just make sure that it's collecting stuff for us. Yeah, okay, great. Yep, I got stuff from you and from Josh. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So we'll get some more as we go along. Hi, Ruffle. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Okay, let me open up our space. Um, and again, for anybody that has songs or lyrics related to family that they want to put in for the lyric wheel, you can go to the link tree link that is pinned and just click on where it says family. Oh, both places, huh, Judy? That's funny. Okay, so let me do this. Get our starting statement here. All right, so let's open up our space so we are prepared for tonight and have a good space for everybody. So, welcome to Vibrant Numerals. Welcome to my sacred temple opportunity space. Welcome to healing with laughter, joy, peace, contemplation, and discomfort. Welcome to Vibrant Numerals. All right. Now we're good to go. Okay. That's that's true, Judy. Thank you for coming over and putting a like on it on YouTube side. That's always helpful. All right. So, um, our word for today is family. Hi, Josh. Thanks for being here. I saw your entries. Go ahead and put more in if you have more. So last week we talked about community and we dug into the word community. This week we're going to do some more digging into the word family. So let's go over to the whiteboard. And I'll just give a reminder. Um, so we are going through this process and looking at deep diving into these different words right now as Neptune, the planet of illusion and dreams, is in retrograde in the area of Aries. Okay, is the link tree both places? It should be, hopefully, or it isn't on that side. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't see it over on the YouTube side. Okay. Okay. So we'll get that in there. I'll do that right after this. So right now, Neptune is in retrograde, and it's in retrograde in Aries, where Aries is the sign of I am and identity. So what we have right now, and this started July 7th. And so our first time we got together was on the 9th. This goes from July 7th until December 12th, while Neptune is in retrograde. And so while Neptune is in retrograde, well, really, while Neptune is in Aries, which will be for like the next 12 years, we will see a lot of these illusions um, that have been built up around identity, our identity and the identity of groups and communities and countries. Kind of falling away and dissolving, but we'll also see a space open up for us to start dreaming bigger about who we are, and reinventing ourselves and the groups that we are in. And that begins with really understanding how we're defining the terms that we're using to describe ourselves, and really let these illusions around the definitions be dissolved away. Okay, so let me see if I can get our link here in over here on YouTube. So give me a second there, make sure everybody has it. And go here, clickety click, 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 click. Okay, just gotta wait for YouTube chat to be available, because of course it takes forever. And we'll get this link in there, and then we will get going. There we go. Okay, so good to go now, I believe. Yep, looks like it. Okay, good. So the Linktree link is where you would need to go to be able to put in any of your songs or lyrics that are related to family. Um, Uh, I was actually looking at that too, Josh. So anybody that's on YouTube, Josh said in Twitch that it was actually really hard finding family songs, at least not super positive ones. Yeah, yeah. Um, but I think that's part of the discussion that we need to have is like why? Why would we not be able to find positive ones? And part of it has to be based on the definitions of the word, um, and how it relates to who we are in our experiences. So let me grab our first slide over here and we'll just start breaking it down and checking it out. Um, do, 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 do. Okay, so last week, and I think I'll start a list for us. So then that's how we can start, is looking at the words we've already done because they all are going to relate back to each other. Um, that's true too, Judy, that seemingly happy family song may not have the same effect, but it's also interesting because I had looked at some songs that seemed like they were meant to be happy, but they didn't really come across that way. And maybe it was the time, and like my own personal experiences that were making it that way. But yeah, we'll look at that more. So last week we looked at community. Ew, yuck. All right, slower. And community, is 133, as we saw, which goes to a 7. And so we'll put that here. So we'll probably be able to come back at some point, and relate these together. And in all honesty, we probably could do it now because we started with community, but when we think about family, it usually is like the way that I think about it is that you have like your family unit and who you consider family. And then there's people that have their own family units. Um, and even if you are separate family units, then but you're still within like the same community. So let's start looking at this, the vibrations that make up this word family, and we can see what vibrations family is actually supposed to be. Um, because even thinking about this in preparation for today, it was kind of interesting even for myself to be thinking about um, who I would consider family, and why I would consider them family, or why I wouldn't consider them family. So I'm really curious to see how this works out. Oh, let me plug in this writing board that I use so much real quick. Okay. So for family, if we look at all of the vibrations in it, um, F is 6. So we have 6 plus 1 plus 13 plus 9 plus 12 plus 25. So let's just first look at these individual um, vibrations that are coming together to make this word. And I think it is interesting. So just like how last week we had community, and we could go back here. I think it's back here. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Where we had community that had all of these threes in it for growth, where like the dominant vibration for community really was threes. And then C is also 3. And so there was this dominant vibration of like growth, but in the correct direction. Whereas here, when we look at family, I have not been able to stop singing "We Are Family." I hope somebody put that in in our lyrics because it's stuck in my head. But when we look at family, um, so when we add all of these up, this equals 66, which goes to 12 and a 3. So here we have the vibrational connection to community at the 3. You did, Josh. That's hilarious. Okay, good. I'm glad. But we have this connection here to the community is through the growth that they're able to make together. Um, but it looks like the dominant vibration within family is going to be 6, which is still very interesting because 2 3s, so 3 plus 3 gives us 6. So a double dose of growth will give us the 6, and 6 is all about comfort, but it's comfort at all levels and in all ways. Um, oh, that's funny. Josh followed it up with the night court thing. So this 6 of comfort, um, when we think of comfort, so a lot of times when you look at like traditional numerology, and I just say traditional numerology because I use some of it, but what I do is a little bit different. But when you look at traditional numerology, 6 is seen as comfort, and it's usually typically depicted with like a house where, oh my gosh, hope your roof doesn't look like that. Um, where you have the 4 walls and then your roof. And this is how you are to remember that 6 equals comfort. Um, but I don't know if that actually fits because comfort in this vibrational world, it is neutral. And so it means um, the most comfortable all the way to the least comfortable. Oh, yeah, you're right. House did win today. Isn't that interesting? And then we're doing this work. Oh, universe got jokes. Um, but this comfort really is, it's like if we think about it on like a spectrum where 6 represents and encompasses everything that we would consider to be like the most comfortable. So if you know how you do like some of those and maybe you haven't, but like I've done the like meditations where they say, "Oh, think about your most comfortable space." Oh, hi, Jill. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. The link to put in any of your songs on family is right there, pinned. Um, so when like you're doing a meditation and they say, oh, to help you relax, to help you get into the right headspace, um, go to and envision your most comfortable space, your most comfortable place of being. Um, and so that's what you would consider like your most comfortable, like when you are most comfortable. But 6 also encompasses when you're your most uncomfortable, because 6 is a neutral vibration. Um, it does hold everything that makes us super comfortable, but it also holds everything that makes us um, uncomfortable. And I think that is really a strong depiction of family. Because if we look at where it equals 66, so one of these sixes can be all of the things that encompasses comfort, like what we would consider comfortable. But then the other 6 can encompass everything that we would consider to be uncomfortable. And they live here together and they work together and they're working together in this definition. The other thing that I think is interesting is that 66 is also the numeric vibration of the word, let me find a different color here, of the word freedom. And so if we think about freedom, I think it's very similar in that it encompasses everything that makes us feel comfortable about freedom, but also uncomfortable about freedom. Um, and same thing with the another word that holds this vibration of 66 would be the word happy. So, like what you're comfortable with and what you're uncomfortable with would define what you would consider happy. But then also these two words would relate to and be highly connected to family as well, the vibration of family also. And even if we think about House, the show House that won today in the TV battles on Cousin B's Twitch, that show also is very much about comfort and uncomfortable situations. So that's interesting also. Um, hmm, I think it's also interesting to see that within, um, so when we looked at community, we had the two M's that were both 13, which is transformation. And here we have another one of the M's that are holding that vibration of 13 of transformation. And so, both for community and for family, it needs to be able to be flexible enough to be able to allow for transformations to happen. And can those transformations happen um, and still be considered family? Would still fit its definition if transformations happen? Similarly, also with this 12, because we have the 12 here, which is L, but also we have the 66 adding up to 12. And we just saw actually yesterday in when we were looking on Twitch at all of your different words and phrases, 12 kept coming up a lot. And 12 is that change in perspective. So again, does the definition, does our definition of family hold strong enough to allow for these changes in perspectives? Because especially if you think about where your family and who you consider family, usually you need to grow together and grow with them. And as you're growing and evolving your identity, does that still hold true? That definition of family? Do you still hold them as family? Oh, hi, Miss Ashley. Thanks for being here. So this is pretty interesting. Um, let's see, where should we go? Oh, so what's coming up? We'll go here and then we will look up formal definition. But if we go back here to community from last week, where community is 133. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to write it again. We'll put it down here. Okay. If we now take community and we add the on here, the is 33. So the community equals 166. And 166, because we have the 66 here of family, we can see where this vibration of family is now assisting in bringing in that new energy that the community needs or in order to get its transformation and to make its growth. Also, though, 166 is the numerical vibration of 100 plus 66. And one of the words for 100 that are equals 100 is honoring. So the community is honoring family. And we saw down here how we have all of these communities or all of these families within the community, that all of these families can come together and make this community space. Um, so I think that's important also to think about, is like, how are you able to define community, but also define family, um, and still have them coincide, where your definition of community, the community, whether it's the community you're in, or the communities that you consider to be a part of, how do you then continue to honor the family? And does your definition of family need to fit with others' definition of family in order to be within the same community? I don't know. I think it's interesting for us to think about. Okay, so let's go. Let me go into the chat first and make sure I am not missing anything. Um, okay, yeah, it's in the pinned link, is where you can fill out the form and put any of your songs and lyrics related to family. And we will spin our lyric wheel here in a little while to add to our discussion of this word family. Yes, Josh, I thought about that too. And that's actually an interesting point, because well, let's go first to our definitions. So let's go find a definition. Let's go over to an empty browser here, and we will let's look at family definition. Look at the definition of family. So, okay, so this says a family is a fundamental social unit united by ties of blood, marriage, adoption, or deep emotional commitment. While traditionally defined as two parents and their children, the concept of family has expanded to include single parent households, blended families, and chosen families built on lifelong bonds and support. Okay, interesting. Um, we then also have the concept of family generally falls into these main categories. Nuclear family, which would be defined as the traditional core unit consisting of two parents and their immediate children. Extended family, a broader network including grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, often living together or functioning as a close support system. Chosen family, a network of close friends, mentors, or peers who provide the same love, safety, and emotional support, typically expected from traditional relatives. Hmm. And then legal family, individuals connected through adoption, foster care, or marriage, establishing legal rights and responsibilities to one another. So let me grab these definitions, and we'll take it over to our whiteboard and pick through this a little bit. What keeps coming up for me is thinking again about um, that picture, that image of the house, and like what actually would need to go into that house or that comfortable space to help us define family. So let's go back over here. Uh, so, oh, hi, Noah. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. We're deep diving into the word family. And if you go to the link that's pinned, you'll find a form where you can put in any songs or lyrics that you think of or you would consider representing family. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too, Judy. So for anybody on YouTube, on Twitch, Judy says that it's interesting because through her life, my family was not related to me in any shape or form. Yeah, and I think that's why I wanted to come back to thinking about that six, because we have this letter F is the sixth letter in the English alphabet, but then also family itself adds up to 66. So it very much has that vibration of comfort in here very strongly, but it seems like if our definitions of family and like what makes a family um, are really different, like if those definitions are different, then that's going to be very difficult. So thinking about like what are the attributes of family that would constitute these six things? Like what would be considered a steady wall, something steady and secure that you would include within your definition of family? Um, what would you consider to be like a roof that's keeping you safe and covered? Um, and so I think that uh, that's true, Josh. That's true. Yep. A lot of times that F screams fa. This is our calm stream, so I'll try not to get too crazy. And it's so late. So I wanted us to just think about um that um when we look at these definitions, because this seems like um and you tell me what you think, but it's I don't know, it just kind of feels like to me where this definition is basically saying, all right, if you're blood, you're family. Or if you are married, your family, or adoption is family. And it actually uses the word or here. So it's not all of these, it's or. Like these, each of these could be a determinant of family, but oh my gosh, that's horrible. But if we think about it as that house, there should be six fundamental things that are in place um, to build that house, to make the definition of family. And maybe that's why there isn't a clear definition of family. Because if you're only using one determinant of family, that's too easy to, break or need to change. Yes, yes, Judy, exactly. Like that definition definitely feels like it's from Leave It to Beaver or some old movie or like yeah, old way of thinking. Where I don't know if there was ever one time when we would be able to just have one thing that would can be able to consider you family. Because if you only have, thank you, Rumpel. I appreciate you so much. If we only have like this one wall, that is not a house. That's not a house. That's not. So like if this one wall is like I think the only one I could like really truly agree with that needs to be on here is that deep emotional commitment, and not even that. Um because I don't know if it's a commitment thing. Because remember when we looked at community last week and we looked at how if you took the word cult and added it to loyalty, you you got community. So I don't even know if I would say commitment here. So I don't know. So maybe it's just deep emotional something. But even if you only have like this deep emotional connection or whatever this is, that's definitely not enough to ensure that on that spectrum of comfort that we are closer to the comfortable side than the uncomfortable side. I don't think you ever can really get to a point where you are completely comfortable or always comfortable with your family, but you should definitely have some anchors that you're able to come back to that makes you comfortable. Thank you. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you. So I don't know. So what do you think? Um, I think that's the thing I'm having the most trouble with this definition is it's really not telling us um what are the components? Like what makes somebody family? And looking at these categories of family, so like nuclear family, extended family, chosen family, legal family, um, what even connects those? Is there a connection point between those that would allow all like the people that you would consider in your extended family or your chosen family or your legal family to actually still be considered family? Seems like we may be using that word too loosely for family, that it's actually something that's way more um, important and needs to be defined in a way that is going to make it stable, like this house. The other place we can go to kind of look at this, let's see. We can go let's go into let's go to the tarot and see if we get any additional information. Um, so there's several tarot cards that would be representative of family, but there actually is a tarot card that is represented by 66. So let me pull out my handy little book here and let's see. So 66, and what we can do is let's go back over here and let's go back over to our browser. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm trying to be serious, y'all. Trying to be serious. Um, but I keep thinking of funny things. So let's look at tarot and astrology together, and we're gonna look up the divine triangle. Because that's what we use in numerology. And let's see. Whoa, this is not what I expected, but um, this is what we need. We need this chart because this chart will show us one where 66 would fall astrologically, but also in the tarot. So now I'll take us back over. I'm going to get whiplash going back and forth all over the place, but this is good. So let me see what Josh is saying. So Josh says over on Twitch, this world seems to keep positive words like family and love very vague. Divide and conquer is typically the goal of our system we live under. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I was thinking about that also, where if like 4 words like love and family, there's other languages. So it's yes, the system, but it's also the words that we select or that we have access to. So remember that um, we have this set of vibrations this is just pure vibration. It's just the vibration. It's nothing else. And what we do in trying to explain what we are experiencing with that vibration, then we can use different numbers or symbols. And then if we want to further explain what it is that we're experiencing with this pure vibration, then we have our words that we use, which is going to be different based on the language in which we're using it. But what's happening is as we are trying to explain what we are experiencing and describe it, we are diluting. So we're diluting a diluted vibration. So we're only really getting a piece of it. That's why this pure vibration, so if this pure vibration that we have here is the vibration of 66, we've already seen that 66 is family. It's also happy. And it's also freedom. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm trying not to be like too loud, but thank you. Thank you. We like a good train. Well, uh hype train. Um so in thinking about how um this vibration is getting diluted, and even further based on which language that you use. So our one word, so in English, in the English language, we have one word, and this happens also for like a word like love, that really is more dynamic. But if we have one word, family, in the English language, but um, there's other languages that have multiple definitions. Um, so let me see. Let's see. We can go back over to our browser again and look at different um, types of family in, I don't know, what language do we want to use? I know there's multiple words for family in Chinese, in Hebrew. What do you think? Oh, I just noticed that I didn't. Well, and you know what? Let's try Chinese. I didn't bring you over to the browser with me. My bad. Here we go. Here we go. Um, let's try Chinese. Oh, we could do Russian. Let's do Chinese, and then we'll do another one. Different types of family in Russian. Oh, no, don't worry about that, Miss Ashley. It's easy to go in and just change stuff. So no worries. I'm glad you were able to get it. So if we look at Chinese, yeah, see they do have it, well, and I do think this is our AI, like blah, like why are you doing this? But even within like this nuclear family, they have multiple terms where you have the family when you're thinking about just your, oh, really? Okay, so we'll look at that too. But they have, like, this is much more extensive than English. And then they have this, what is this? The STEM family, a very common traditional and contemporary setup in China where one child co-resides with their. That's the other thing too, within different cultures, how if you're considered family or you're in a certain position within the family, then you have a certain role to fill. And like how there's families in India where they always live together. Um, I think the Western civilizations tend to not do that. They tend to separate right away. Okay, so in Russian, and Judy, you can tell us better, but it looks like it's similar to English. There's a few other words, but I don't see. That's true, Josh. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so let's look at words. Let's see. Let's see. Family in ancient Greek. And did you, Josh, did you put it in how I did different types of family? Let's see. Let's do different words representing family in ancient Greek. Oh, okay. Well, no, but I think family is another one. Yeah, because see, look, like you have one word meaning just the house or the household, like who's born there, but then you have genos, which is like your lineage, like who your blood related to, which would be considered a different type of family. Um, so yeah, this is interesting because it is love and family. Like I think there's like 90 something uh words for love in, I don't remember if it's Hebrew or another language, but uh, I think this was really the point I was trying to see is like our is our definition, if we just look at the English definition, word for family, limiting what how we're actually able to use that definition um, towards our own identities. Because also, now that I think about it, it I have heard of times of people using family or fam, which represents, it's just short for family, um, in a way where it was trying to emphasize what they were saying, but not looking at it in the same way, if that makes sense. Where can maybe that's why we do that though. We use different words because family should have a very different definition than like community or um, acquaintances. So if we see that this pure vibration of 66 is getting diluted down so much that it can mean a number of different things. Um, and then we get to English where we only have this one word, family, and the definition has to be kept very open. It has to be very broad to be able to include everybody's definition. Whereas another language, like we saw with Greek, ancient Greek, this now has these multiple different kinds of family. And by doing that, it's allowing for um, a more in-depth definition. And I think that's really important to be aware of because who your family is or who you consider family is very strongly tied to you and your identity. Because we do speak in terms of who your family is or if you don't have family. And most of that all is, just a social construct. So before we look at the um before we go back and look at the tarot, let's go back into our browser real quick. And I'm just curious to look at the origins of the word family. So family does have a Latin familia. Um, but look, oh my gosh, look at this. So it says the word family entered the English language in the early 15th century from the Latin familia, meaning the servants in the household or domestics collectively. What the hell? What the, whoa, like that that changes things. I guess this is why we needed to look this up. Wow. Okay. So then continuing, the Latin familia itself derives from famulus, which means servant or slave. What? Therefore, the original root of the word specifically referred to the entire group of enslaved and free people who lived together under the head of the household. Oh my gosh. What? I'm glad we looked this up because this can explain a whole lot of why family, that word family feels so off and like it can't be defined or that we need something else. So then it says over time, linguistic usage shifted. By the 16th and 17th century, the term evolved from encompassing servants and property to primarily denoting a collective body of people sharing a household, and eventually narrowed further into its modern definition of parents, children, and blood relatives. What? You can dive deeper into the historical evolution of the word and its transition from denoting ownerships to blood kinship. Whoa, that's kind of insane. Yeah, like it makes me not want to use that word. It makes me not want to use family at all because ew, yuck, yuck, yuck. Well, and especially remembering, because we just talked about it. Let me grab this definition for us, and then we'll go back over to um, the whiteboard. Um, but even thinking about, um, wow, how we were just looking at how the word holds the vibration. The meaning of the word holds the vibration that we are trying to describe. And so, if this word was originally used to describe servants and slaves, it's still holding that definition. Yes, Miss Ashley, you're right. So, over on Twitch, Miss Ashley said that family doesn't seem to be related to love at all. Absolutely. Like it's wow. So let me put, yeah, that is so crazy. Let me put this up here so we can look at it. Oh, not that one. Let me go get our definition we just got. Um, because what? That's insane. And that's definitely why we are being led to look at not just the definition, but look at the origins of the word. Um, because that's wow. So when we use this word family, it is holding the vibrations of this original definition, because the original definition is essentially the first description of that vibration. And so, um, wow. So then when we think about, and we are seeing things happening right now, like in our daily lives, where it's, oh, the family is being broken up. There is no family unit. There's like, you now have your two parent families and your adopted family, and you have your single parent family. But like, to think about it in these terms, it's this is essentially saying that anybody that is putting their energy towards the household would be defined as family. So even when we think about like our traditional gender roles, which are weird, I keep having like the trad wife stuff keep popping up, and I don't know why it's doing that. But it, maybe this is why, because it is interesting to think about, like, even when you would consider like a traditional wife and that traditional gender role, eh, that's essentially a servant in the household. That's crazy. Yes, Judy, it's only been in the 20th century where we've had the revolution of those terms. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, exactly, Miss Ashley. Where I've also been seeing a lot of um, teachers, and maybe you could speak to this more, Miss Ashley, is that a lot of teachers, that as they are um, preparing to go back to school, just don't have the same kind of family support or support from the families, which is very weird. Yeah, let's see. Josh says they named it nuclear family because they wanted it. Wow. Wow. Yeah. I didn't even think about that, Josh, but that's crazy. Like, why would you call it nuclear? Let's look at that, because that's an interesting vibration. So let's look at how are we changing that vibration of family by adding nuclear. So nuclear family. And we know, because we've been looking at it, family is 66. And so then let's look at nuclear. Yeah, that's crazy. I never even thought about that. Like, why would you choose nuclear to go with family? And then it makes me think about where, even though um we know that it was just propaganda and it wasn't real, that the Willie Lynch letters that basically tell you how to break up a family and create a slave. Um, this is kind of fitting a little bit too well for my comfort. And there we go with the comfort again. Oh my goodness. All right. So, nuclear. So I'm going to write up here. 6 is what equals comfort. Nuclear, this word nuclear, so when we put in the vibrations, the numbers for each of these letters, we get 74. 74 is the numeric vibration also of the word energy. But okay, this one, nuclear 74 is also the numeric vibration of the word trauma. So saying nuclear family has the same vibration as saying trauma family or family trauma. Well, yeah, mm, yeah, yeah. Whoa. Okay. I think I got to get some water on that one. Because wow, wow. Mm-mm. Wow. This, yes, yes, this is, yeah. It explains why it would be so difficult to have positive lyrics or even a positive association with this word family. Because how can you depict family in a positive way when its origins, the vibrations that it's coming out of, that it's birthed out of, are so extremely negative? And the history of the words that we use, they hold the vibrations of their origins, just like we hold the vibrations of the generations that came before us in our DNA. So this is insane. Um, I don't know that it matters, but if we add these together, we get 140, and 14 is represented by um in the tarot, it's the Temperance card, which is about a mix. It's the mixing, it's the pieces that are not coming together. Uh, yes, absolutely. We need a new word. Sound all the alarms because this is crazy. This is crazy. We can't, yeah, we cannot. Like when we looked last week at community, we could see where it was um, like we needed some adjustments in our definition. Um, we needed to be more clear about what community was going to be going forward. But in this case, this is like trying to build on a foundation of sand. How do you build on vibrations with this origin? Wow, this is crazy. Oh my goodness. All right. I do think we should look at, so anybody that did not put the negative lyrics in our lyric wheel for family, I think it would be appropriate to add them now if you'd like to. So if you'd like to go back in and add any of those um, lyrics that kind of have a negative connotation or use family in a negative way, um, yeah, we can probably learn something from them. But let's go. Let me see. Let's look real quick and see if there's, yeah, no, there's nothing else we need there. There's nothing else we need there. Oh wow. Oh wow. Well, that's what we were um Miss Ashley, that's what we were speaking about. Was how it was difficult to find lyrics that used family in a positive way. Because wow. All right. So let's pull in um let's pull in the tarot and the astrology. See what else we can add to this. I don't know how could ever come back from what we've just learned. But let's see. Um, okay. So if you're wondering what this is, the book that I use, that it's called Numerology and the Divine Triangle. And it is the first book that I found that associates tarot with numerology and with astrology. And so this is a chart that is at the back of that book that I use quite regularly. Um, but let's see. So family. So family is 66. Oh, absolutely, Judy. Yeah, it's no wonder that over, the generations, like family and what's considered family and who we consider family has become more and more negative. Okay, so here is 66. It's right here. And this is, so we'll move this down so we have some more room. This is the Queen of Pentacles, where pentacles are, yeah, it's money, but it's anything material, where the Queen of Pentacles really, and we'll look her up and get some more information on her, but it really is around how are you ruling in an emotional way over the material world, in your material world. Um, this also is in this second decan of Capricorn. So each sign, um, Capricorn. Can't even spell my own sign. There we go. Capricorn. Capricorn. Nope, that's still not right. There we go. In Capricorn, which is structure. So that's interesting also, where we were just talking about um how is family structured? How do we define it where you have the pieces to the house so you actually have a stable house? And can we even do that? Um, okay. Yeah, I think we might all need it. Um, oh my gosh, you're funny. So we need to look at this second decan of Capricorn, also to get more about what is happening with this vibration. Um, so let's go over to our, actually, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the browser and I'm going to get another image for us to use to look at. Oh my gosh, you're right, Judy, because we just wrote the goals about the area of family and home. Yeah. Yeah, we did. Oh, that's crazy. Um, let me grab. No, that one's not gonna work. I'm trying to grab us another image that will help us see um more. Okay, I guess, well, I don't really like that. Let's see. Let me see if I can find us a good one. Yeah, I don't like that one. Okay. So we all can take a breath while I look for a good image to be able to go with the image that we are looking at. Here we go. This one's better. All right. I'm coming back. I'm coming back over here. All right. So we see that um, this vibration of 66 is here. So maybe within the astrology and or the tarot, we can actually get a better word of like, what is that 66 really supposed to represent? And why did you come out so big? Oh my gosh. Okay, here. There we go. There we go. Better. I'll make it a little bit smaller though. Okay, there we go. All right. So, and actually, you could make it bigger because we're just, well, no. Um, so this is very similar to the chart that we were just looking at. But on this one, um, here's where our, let me get a different color here. Here's where our second decan of Capricorn is. And so the second decan of Capricorn is January 1st until the 9th, and it's ruled by Mars. So it means that this energy of this vibration 66 has been ruled by the masculine aspect, but in the tarot it's the feminine aspect of the queen. So we're supposed to be more like this interchange and exchange of energy between masculine and feminine, more like a 7, but we're getting stuck here with the 6. And so this is where we can have those different definitions as well. Huh. Okay, so let's look at, oh, what I wanted to show you before we go on is that I think I talked about last week some point where every sign has its opposite. Oh, you can't see that. Has its opposite sign. And Capricorn's opposite sign is Cancer. So where we just had the new moon in Cancer, um, it's directly connected to this vibration of Capricorn. And this is kind of crazy too. So we have 66 for family sitting here in the second decan of Capricorn, and directly across from it is the second decan of Cancer. And this is represented by the dates. This energy we feel July 1st through the 11th. So last week, when we were talking about community and just starting the Neptune retrograde, we were in this energy of the second decan of Cancer. So that's kind of creepy. Yeah, that's creepy. All right, so let's now go back to our browser and let's look up the Tarot Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so this is what the vibration is supposed to be feeling like, that we're supposed to be able to um, feel. But so the Queen of Pentacles is grounding. That's that earth sign of Capricorn. It's a grounding, nurturing tarot card. It symbolizes abundance, financial security, and practical care. I think at least two of those, financial security and practical care, are definitely ones that should be our definition of whatever our new word is going to be to replace family. But it also says, associated with the earth element, she represents um, the ultimate earth mother archetype, who balances domestic comfort with business savvy. Isn't that interesting? Because these this tarot card, this is not the modern woman. This this wasn't developed for the modern woman. This is an ancient representation of this earth mother who is both um in the space of providing domestic comfort. So finally, there's the word comfort. We haven't seen comfort in any of these other definitions of family, but along with the business savvy. So she calls you to cultivate stability, nurture your resources, and generously support those around you. Now that sounds more like family. Cultivate stability, nurture your resources, and those resources could be people, and generously support those around you. That sounds more close to how we should be defining whatever family is. Um, And so these tarot cards also do encompass both what we would consider positive and what we would consider negative. And that's why it has both the upright and the reverse meaning. So the upright meaning, um, the Queen of Pentacles signifies prosperity, self-sufficiency, and a harmonious balance between work and home. So that's what we would want it to be, is like this balance between work and home. Focus on growth. So nurture your projects, manage your resources, and embody generosity. If it is reversed, so if you get it in a reversed form, this can signify that you may be struggling with work-life balance, because the goal is to have work-life balance. You might be neglecting your own needs, and you might be feeling insecure about money, which sounds like every family that I know. Um, which is so okay. So we're operating on this like reversed meaning of what family is actually supposed to be. And it started from the origins of the word. Very interesting. Okay, so let me grab these so we have them if we want to look at them deeper. And then we will look and see if there's a card for us to be able to look at closer. This is so interesting. I'm really enjoying being able to look at these definitions, because it does very much feel like um, like we've only done 2 words so far, and we've already seen how there is very much the illusion of what community is and what family is, distorting our definitions, which then in turn is distorting how it relates to our identity, and how do we use it as part of formulating our own identities. Wow. Yeah, exactly, Miss Ashley. So Miss Ashley said over on Twitch um, that it's bittersweet, but knowing is better. Better can, yeah. So knowing means that you can do better. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why we're even doing any of this. That's why we are even looking into this and really trying to pick apart how are we defining these terms that we want to use so often. Okay, so here are this one that's over here on the far left, this is the traditional Queen of Pentacles. This is how it looks. But then if you get newer decks, you'll see her depicted in different ways. But I think let's find an image. Ooh, I like her. Ooh, I like her. She's pretty. um, but this is more of um, how we should be depicting uh, family. So let's grab this one. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I just wanted to steal your image. Thank you. And let's find like one other that we can use to just look at the symbols. Because remember, the symbols are going to be closer to the vibration, the pure vibration, than the um here we could use this one because this will give us some good information about the symbols. Okay. But the symbols are what helps us get closer to that pure vibration. So if we go back over to our whiteboard, when we were looking at here, where we have this pure vibration. It's pure vibration. It's exactly what it's meant to be. Like when we think of like this vibration of 66, um, it's just 66. That's just what it is. And we use these numbers and symbols to um, describe how we're interacting with and what this pure vibration feels like. And then we get to the words. So what we've done is now started to go backwards, where we started with this family definition. So we started here and we've gone back and we've looked at the etymology, we've looked at other words that have that same vibration to try and figure out what that is. We have looked at that 66 vibration. And now we're going to look at some of these symbols. So the Queen of Pentacles is one of these symbols that we can use to start better understanding what is this pure vibration. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It could be, Miss Ashley, that none of these words that have this vibration of 66 actually have um, good origins, but that vibration of 66 itself, um, it's a very loud vibration of comfort. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So who knows? I- The way that we are um, defining that pure vibration of 66. Well, and I guess it would make sense because if somebody that um, is experiencing that vibration of 66 in a more negative way, would it would make sense that they would use words with a more negative origin. Absolutely, Miss Ashley, we do. We need to look at everything. So let's look at here. Me make you a little bit smaller so then I can make the screen bigger. There we go. So I just wanted to look at some of these symbols that are here. And how these symbols are another way that somebody was trying to um, describe their interaction with this vibration of 66. And so we have all of these plants here at the top that are representative of the connection to nature. And it's interesting that we think of nature, we call it Mother Nature, and mother is supposed to be part of your family. Um, but then, even on the throne itself, um, so you have the throne itself that is um, just showing that you have a material kind of wealth. Um, but even the symbols are material wealth. Yeah, that's a good point too. Of even just the way she's looking is very somber. Um, so it is representing both of those things that would provide comfort, but also the discomfort that would go into actually acquiring it. Because if you're focused on the material success, even if you are successful in a material way, so you gain wealth, you still have a um, a cross to bear. You still have consequences of what you would have to do to acquire that. So I think that's within this these symbols as well, because we see a lot of the symbols of wealth here, as with the pentacle and with the throne, and even how she's dressed. But then we see some of the symbols of like fertility and growth here with the rabbits. Um, so yeah, this is interesting. Oh, thanks, Josh. Thanks for looking that up. So for anybody that's on YouTube, over on Twitch, Josh says that the um, origin or the happy original term meant lucky or favored by fortune. The 14th century Old Norse and Old English term. So that's interesting that that does have a more positive origin, and it's the same vibration of 66. And that may be because that 66 is a neutral vibration, it does encompass everything positive and negative within it. So even though the word family has such a negative origin, if there's other words like happy that have a positive origin, then you're constantly having to reconcile between those when you're interacting with this vibration of 66. So let's look at this second Queen of Pentacles that I pulled. Yeah, the weight of that coin must definitely be heavy. Well, and I wonder, let me make this smaller, and then, because now I'm curious, I want to go back over to the browser and see if all of those depictions of the Queen of Pentacles had that same look on their face. So let's go look. Because I was just looking for one that was gonna give us some good symbols to look at. But let's see. Like, she's a little bit happier. Oh, she looks just like content. She looks content, and like, look at the difference now that you've pointed that out, that like in this original Queen of Pentacles, this holding this this big old coin is really hard to do, but here this looks comfortable. This looks more comfortable. But also it, you look at the difference between like sitting in a comfortable chair connected to nature versus sitting in that throne. That's also thing. How are you going to sit in that throne all day and have good posture? That's why she looked like a humpback. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Interesting. So let's see, there are others. These all look similar to the original. Hmm. I'm gonna put in, oh no, we could leave that. I was gonna see if I needed to put in something else. Ooh, I like this one too. Because she doesn't look bothered. It's like she's presenting this pentacle. Like, yep, look what I did. She got a really thin neck though. But yeah, wow. Okay. All right, so that is interesting. I just was curious because when she pointed that out, oh look, she doesn't, she's smiling. Like she's definitely smiling. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I really like looking at tarot cards and oracle cards just to see um how people are putting together their symbols to represent the vibration that they're feeling. I think it's very interesting. And I think it's very interesting to see um, how different and diverse they could be, but also how similar. Um, oh, I just put this up here because I wanted us to also look at all of these different terms that they have associated with this. Um, I don't know if I agree with a lot of them, but it's if we look at it, it's a lot of these contrasting things and a lot of things that could be seen as positive or negative, just depending on your own perspective. Interesting. Huh. Okay. So we ready to dig into our lyric wheel and see what it has to say about family? Now that we have determined that we can't use the word at all, let me grab our. So if you have any last minute entries, now is the time to go ahead and put them in. Great. All right, let me grab this. And actually, I will. Oh, I need to go get our lyric wheel. It got closed, sorry. Let me grab it. There we go. Yep, let's get our fancy wheel. Oh, well, I'll put I can put both of them in here, Miss Ashley, and we can if we get the first one, we can just ignore it. It just will fill out the wheel. Let me see if this actually comes up. Oh yeah. There. Okay. So let me go grab all of our lyrics that are in here. Um, yes, yes, yes. I practiced so much to be able to do this. I just hope I don't get to the point where I get too comfortable and then I start messing it up. Um, okay. So, almost got it, almost got it. Okay. I'm gonna copy this. We gotta go to our fancy smancy lyric wheel. We'll paste it in here. And thank you. We will load the submissions. Ha! Yeah. Got it. All right. So let's spin the wheel. Let's see. We should have time for one or maybe two of these, but let's see. Here we go. Spin the wheel. Woohoo! Okay. It wasn't Eminem what came up first. um last week too. Yeah, so here we have Eminem again. All right, so let me grab this. That's funny. Let me grab this and bring it over to our whiteboard. And yeah, Judy has some good luck with these wheels. I hope you won a lot in Vegas. All right, let me grab this. Nope, that's not what I want. I got too many things open. Trying to be too fancy again. Here we go. I mean, it would make sense that Taurus mind. Oh, I forgot to check and make sure that. Oh, okay. I see why the calculation might be different. But also we need to change up here because we're not doing community today. Today we are doing family. So it'll give us that one. And so we have that there. Okay. Um, so let's go back to our whiteboard and mm, mm, whiteboard. There we go. All right. And then I'll put it in here. Oh. All right, there you go. So one of the first things that I noticed like immediately um is this 1088 at the bottom. So what's interesting about this coming up this way is that um I didn't check the um to make sure that the calculations were working. Um, but we've had this 88 keep coming up. We've had it come up quite regularly when we are talking about the 16 of the tower. And the use of this 88. Yeah. So that's interesting. So let's see. Eminem, temporary. The death of Slim Shady. Yeah. Yeah, this is a good one. Straighten up, little soldier. Them times when I held you, Jade. Yeah. So, Judy, you get again to tell us um, why you selected this lyric to represent family. Like I know I really like this song because it is this is the one where he's really talking about before he goes and like who really is family and who how he wants to make sure to support them before he goes. Oh, um, your rising sign is um it related to the time you were born, and it's the rising is when um like what sign is coming up over the horizon at the time that you were born. So it's what represents you. It's like the part of you that you present to the rest of the world. So it's people's like first impression of you. A lot of times people will think that you have a sun sign. Um, that is actually your rising sign. Yeah. Yes, I actually like using it's called Astro Charts or Astro Seek is what I use. And I keep getting the message that I need to make my own app. So I guess that's coming some point. All right, so let's see. Judy says, when M dropped this album and I heard this song, yeah, 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 crying like he was talking to you. Yeah, 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 because this was a very, yeah, very deep, touching song. So I do think that then this is relating back to like the one thing. Let me see if I could find it. Like that one, sorry, sorry, don't mean to be giving you whiplash. I'm doing it to myself also. I was trying to find our um little this one where the only thing that um could definitively say should be part of the definition of family or best represents at least part of that vibration was this deep emotional connection or something that is related to um, like a deeper emotional understanding. And I think this song is it's depicting that. It's that deeper emotional connection and expression of your identity in relation to those you consider family. And it's interesting that Eminem keeps coming up because the he came up the his song came up the last week too for Community, where his last album, The Death of Slim Shady, it really was a an ode to the death of this part of his identity so that his newer um, identity could emerge. And that's what we're actually doing here is we're trying to understand where do we need to adjust our definitions so that we can adjust our identities and how we define ourselves and use that definition in our relations with others. Yes, Judy. So for those of you on YouTube, Judy said on Twitch, it was a pure look at his feelings about his fatherhood, and not everyone can be this honest about, yeah, about where they messed up. Yeah, his actions. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one. Good one. Thanks, again. Because you helped us out last week too. So um, let's go ahead and spin our wheel again and see what we get. The wheel does automatically drop it out when it's selected. So you don't get the same thing twice. All right, so here we go. Let's spin again. Mm, good one. Good one. Okay. All right. So let me grab this and we will come over to our um, whiteboard and look at this. I think this is one of yours, Josh, isn't it? Father Time. Yeah, I told you I'll try if I'm trying to be fancy, trying to give us some fancy new interactive tools to use because you know we have to dive deep into some pretty deep hard topics. But doesn't mean we can't have fun. All right. So copy this and then turn off our lyric wheel and come over to our whiteboard. All right. See, I'm getting good. Getting good at this. Yeah. I bet every year new learning tools, right? You have a whiteboard one year and next year you don't. And yeah. Okay. Well, tell us about that line. Like, why did you select it? Is it just the way that it impacted you? And while you are putting that in, um, the first thing that I will mark here somewhere, here we go. Kendrick Lamar, just because we look at Kendrick Lamar so often. Look how gross that box looks. Oh well, I don't care. Kendrick Lamar's name um equals 120. And we were just looking at how, this vibration of 66, which goes to 12. So this 12, this change in perspective. So the change in perspective, but Kendrick Lamar's name alone is a change in perspective that is enhanced by God, universe, higher power. Enhanced by God. So it's a change in perspective. So just his name vibration is trying to invoke a change in perspective. The other thing that I saw when we first pulled this up um, is father in our zodiac. So what we were looking at earlier with the astrology, um, father, the sign that represents father is Capricorn. It's the structure. And then mother is Cancer. Is represented by the sign Cancer. So here we have that Capricorn vibration again. And another thing I just saw is time. So this songs title, Father Time. Time um, is the numeric vibration 47, and we saw how the mirror image of that, 74, came up in that word nuclear when you're looking at nuclear family, and then 74 would be trauma. So that's interesting. Okay, and so then I want to see. Okay, so Josh says that basically it deals with trying to find yourself while still struggling with a part of your history behind your creation. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And I think this does definitely directly relate to family, especially if we're thinking of family in the like blood family, like you're related just by blood. Because within our DNA and our blood, we do carry the vibrations of the generations that came before us. So our parents, our grandparents, whether we know them, grow up with them or not, we still carry those vibrations within us. They're part of our core vibrations that we walk around in the world and we interact with other people. Um, with those same vibrations. So whether it's something that happened in this lifetime or something that happened in lifetimes before to other generations. So like the where the structures and the systems in which we live, like every generation has been um, using systemic tools to break up the structure of a family and community, because that's what we saw last week as well. Um, all of that we hold within our DNA. And so we do have to go back and be able to reconcile it, not just what we've experienced in our own life, but what has come before us. Yeah, this is a good choice. Good one. Good one. I do want to look at, because I'm curious, let's look at the title and just see what those vibrations are. Um, so Father Time. Oh, another thing I just noticed. Well, it was just pointed out to me. um, is the year that this song and album came out is a 6 year. So 2022. When we add up all those twos, it does go to a six. So there's that six of comfort and discomfort wrapped up all together. So that's there also. Let's look at the title. Oh, I was about to say, how far up did I write it? Almost couldn't find it. Yes. Yes. So Miss Ashley asked if I was speaking about, let me get some water. Hold on. Yeah. So, Miss Ashley over on Twitch was asking about if I was speaking about generational curses and blessings. Yes, that's how we label them and describe them as generational curses and blessings. Um, yes, that those are those vibrations that we hold within our DNA and that we do have to reconcile with. Yeah. Let's see. Josh says, what's the difference when your heart is made of stone and your, yeah, mind is made of gold and your tongue is made of sword, but it may weaken your soul. Yes. Oh, you should have included that because, yeah, that's the rest of the lyric that is included here. And I think that is depicting that feeling of um, that 66 where and the Queen of Pentacles, where we have the 66 where it's like 1 6 is comfort, the other is um discomfort or uncomfort, discomfort. I could put discomfort because I don't want to write uncomfortable because that's too long. So discomfort, um, but also with the Queen of Pentacles, where it was that balancing act between work and um, home. It was like the work-life balance. So yeah, absolutely. Oh, it cut it off. It said you put too much in there. I'll have to look and see how many characters it allows. Because yeah, we need to get those whole lyrics. I think it just doesn't want you to put the whole song in there because then it would take up that whole the whole spreadsheet. So let's see. So father, Ather, father is 58. And then time is that 47. And when we add those together, we get 105. And then if we add, so then if we add the 120 for Kendrick Lamar, then we get 225. So this vibration that is coming through, which is very interesting because we have the 5 here of um, change. So a change needing to happen. It's like he's resonating with that there is some kind of change that needs to happen. There's something that needs to be recognized for this to happen. But it's leading to this ending of division because 2 is end division. And when you have it here, it's twice. It's amplified, but also this is going to be the changes that you're making, it's ending division in multiple areas of life. And when it ends in those multiple areas of life, um, then you actually get to the 9, which is ending cycles. And those cycles can be generational curses or what we would see as generational curses. So by making a change, ending the division within himself, um, in is impacting multiple areas of life because there's that balancing act again between those two twos, and it's ending cycles. Hmm. The other thing that's so interesting in looking at it this way is that 22, if we had three of them together, you know how our vibrations like to work sometimes in these movements of shapes. We get our 66. So it is like parts of that 66 are included in here as well. Good one. Good one. All right. So let me see. Gotta look and see what time it is. All right. Let me look at. So I think what we will do, let's go ahead and spin our wheel one more time, and we'll look one more time at some of these. We'll spin one more time, and then I think, man, I don't know how much more we can get because we got some pretty crazy, crazy stuff. We got some pretty crazy stuff. Oh goodness. But I want to go grab also. I want to make sure. Um, okay. Let me get our wheel up here. There we go. And let's spin it one more time. All right, here we go. We'll see. Hopefully the wheel, well, because hers is in here twice, I think. Yep, there it is. Now is this one, I'll go check and make sure this looks like the one that you wanted, the second one, but I'll check and make sure. Because they both were in there. You just had to say it out loud, Josh, and we got it. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I think this one looks good. So let's grab this one. Do 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 do. Let me go grab it. Yeah, it's probably gonna cut it off because I'll check it and make sure that I know how much you could put in there so then I can let you know next week. Because I know while the wheel was being built, like while I was trying to get the wheel working, that if I had too many characters in there, it would break. So we didn't want to break the wheel. Okay, so we grab this. Um, and bring it over here. Okay, so let's look at one more. All right, Miss Ashley, while I'm getting this up here, do you want to let us know why you selected this one or how this one really depicted family or the thoughts of family to you? Yeah, this is a good one. Yeah, this is a good one. Dear Mama. Well, and we just had Father Time, and now we have Dear Mama. So we definitely got that mother-father contrast here. Yeah, yeah, the difficulties between a single mother um and her son. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one because it is that um yes, yes, and his understanding after choosing poorly. Yes. So it definitely is that uncomfortable comfort where it's very much looking at um how does this dynamic between mother and son um impact how he's defining himself and how he would define those closest to him, but also for her as well. Um, because, as a single mother, like not being able to provide for your children or provide in the way that you want to, um, it changes your definitions of yourself and family as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Judy. That, yeah, poor choices keep coming up. Yeah, and especially in relation to this word family. Like, and how does that change um how you are defining not just those closest to you, um, but yourself as well. Good one. This is a great one. I want to, because we looked at Father Time, let's also look at, yes, yes. So Miss Ashley put the rest of the lyric in there that there's no way I can pay you back, but my plan is to show you that I understand. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. So laying out all of the negative parts and just laying it bare. Um, but saying, I recognize that it was difficult and I appreciate what you did do, even if it wasn't what you wanted to do or what I would have liked for you to do. Um, so let's look at the vibrations of Dear Mama. Ew, that M is gross, but I'm not going to go back and fix it. But again, it's interesting that we have these M's in here again a lot. Um, and let's see. So, dear mama, this is so dear is 28, and something that I'm seeing um, while we are looking at this set of vibrations. Um, there's two things that I'm seeing here. One, there's a lot of A's in here. So here's an A, and then this is an A, and this is an A. And also, man, there's a lot of one energy here. So let me move this down a little bit and I can show you what I mean. So if we spell these out like in our numbers that represent these, oh, you're still looking at the lyric wheel. My bad. There you go. Um, so if we look at these numbers, um, D is 4. So 4 plus 5 plus 1 plus 18 plus 13 plus 1 plus 13 plus 1. So what I was seeing was that there's a lot of one energy here, where one is something new. So it's seeing things in a new way. It's changing your mind. It's doing things in a new way. And so there's a lot of one energy here. And then 28 does add up to a 10, which is a 1. And if we look at Mama, Mama is also 28. So we have this double dose of 28 that's here, where 8 is the vibration of like karma, reap what you sow. Those generational curses would be considered 8, because this is a cycle of energy. So where we say, oh, we're breaking cycles, a lot of the time those cycles themselves are 8s. So we have this returning of energy. It's acknowledging um, this energy that is coming back around, these cycles that are repeating themselves, so that you can get to a point. Here are those 2s again, and there's 2 of them again. And 2 8s again, which we've been seeing tonight. But this 2 is an end of division. So it's recognizing um, the cycle that is happening, so that you can clearly end the division. And the division in this case would be um, continuing that cycle at the same time as trying to end it. And so you're going this back and forth. You're dividing yourself between perpetuating and continuing the cycle at the same time as you're trying to end the cycle. And because we have the 28 here twice, what that's doing is it's making it very loud. So it's making it very loud in that this vibrational story of needing to recognize the cycles that are occurring, that are creating this division within yourself and your people that you would consider family, or whatever our new word is going to be, um, and needing to end that division in order to get to a new beginning, and not just any new beginning, because 10, here we'll use a different color, because 10 is not just the new energy of like a new life, a new way of thinking, but it has the 0 here, which is the blessing of God or universe or higher power. So not only is this a double dose of recognizing the cycles that need to end so that these divisions can end and this new beginning can come in, but it's blessed of God. It's a huge blessing. And when we do 28, here, I can move this up again just a little bit. And then when we do 28 plus 28. So 28 plus 28. Um, we get 56. And 56 is the numeric vibration of the word healing. So by exposing these cycles that are creating the division and ending that division so a new beginning is able to come in. That's the healing. That's the healing that's taking place. Isn't that cool? This is amazing to be able to see how um, these vibrations are resonating in here. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Josh. Yeah. Right? Yes. That's a great combination. Kendrick and Tupac. And very much representing where what it is. I think we discovered how um, this word family was just like it was fitting, like it was ill fitting. It wasn't necessarily fitting, um, comfortable. Like we are more on that uncomfortable side than comfortable side and how it was being defined and how it was being used. And as we dug in further, we became even more uncomfortable to the point of recognizing that it's not just our definition of family that needs to um, be adjusted, but we might really need a whole new word to represent this vibration of 66 because it's not the vibration, it's the words that we have selected to represent that vibration. And that's where we need some new definitions of what is it to be in a space where you can be comfortable, but also made uncomfortable enough so you can learn your lessons. Because we know that it's when we are at our most uncomfortable that we are forced to learn the lessons that um, are required of us to grow. And so, family or whatever term we want to start using, it must encompass this um, space and the people in that space where you are the most comfortable being yourself and being able to authentically be yourself at the same time as um, being challenged to be uncomfortable so that you can learn. So this was wow. This was incredibly enlightening. Wow. This was a good one. This was a very good one. So, oh, what is the word? Meshpa'ah? Meshpa'ah? Is that how you say it? Oh, well, in that case too, we can look at remind me tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. Um and we can look at Hebrew Gematria to be able to get the um numerical vibration. I'll look it up and make sure I get it spelled in Hebrew and get the numerology for it. And we'll look at it tomorrow. Cool. Mishpaha. Okay. I don't know. I'll keep trying. We're going to get it because we definitely need something need something new. So this was amazing. Thank you all for being here. I'm really enjoying this series. Um, Next week, we are going to revisit um, the word name. So we have looked at name before when we looked into Baby Keem's use of different names, and we can pull that out also. Oh, thank you, Judy. Um, and that'll be our next thing. So we've looked at community, larger community space. We've looked at family, and then next week we'll look at name and how your name um, relates to the definition of who you are and your identity. Very cool. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I'm sure you do, Josh. So think about those songs. I'll make sure that we have our form ready for us on Saturday. So on Saturday, you can start putting in your songs for the word name. But I will be back live on YouTube tomorrow and Saturday. And then we will be back here to look at our next word next Thursday. Thank you so much for being here. This was so great. I appreciate you. You're very welcome. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you tomorrow night. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you.